joining us to talk about his campaign and what is ahead. You know, let's talk recent news. First of all, Tuesday we had 5 primaries. You picked up delegates in those. And the passion of your supporters is kind of like nobody else's supporters. I was looking at Facebook. Let's bring some of those up. Some of the comments that people were making today that I found. You know, Amanda, it's a great day to be a bot, meaning a Ron bot, which is a term for one of your supporters. You know, may God continue to bless Ron, Dr. Paul, his entire family, unite us in the cause of liberty. Shane, vote Ron Paul. You have no future, plain and simple. Ron Paul, exclamation point. And listen to this one from Teresa. Everything he has done in his life, he did right. It brings tears to my eyes to see someone who made all the right choices in life and someone so inspirational that he's able to create a massive movement, yet still getting the raw end of the deal. And finally, when I saw that bot, we had to look, I looked up Ron bot in the Urban Dictionary, and here's the definition. A rabid supporter of candidate Ron Paul, usually a tad on the loony side. These Ron bots, explain that. Explain this passion, this fanaticism that you seem to have with your supporters. What is it?
Well, the term is new for me, so you're telling me something.
New to me too.
But I know about the enthusiasm. I think they're desperate to cling on to something, and they really overdo it with the praise. I mean, I think it's super praise. I'm very pleased with it. But I think young people really know what's coming up. I give them a lot of credit for knowing the mess we're in. They're tired of the wars. They know something about personal liberties. I talk about that and personal responsibility. They know something about debt, too. So they've learned their arithmetic. And all of a sudden, they feel like they're getting a bad shot. You know, they've gone through school, they've borrowed some money, they have a lot of debt, and they don't have any jobs.
Right.
And they don't see an easy way out. And I talk a lot about how a free society operates, what was originally intended by America, how we used to be great. We had the largest middle class ever, and we don't have to stay where we are. We can change it merely by following the rule of law, and most young people respond, yes, they like that. They'd like to have more people follow the Constitution, believing that would solve a lot of our problems.
Let's talk politics for a moment here. It would seem at this juncture, Mitt Romney seems to be ahead. He seems to be the one who's going to get the nomination. Obviously, it's not a done deal yet.
Mitt Romney is still the presumptive nominee. The presumptive nominee. The presumptive nominee.
Obviously, it's not a done deal yet. A lot of people are thinking, obviously, the passion of your supporters. Let's say, for example, he does, after the convention, gets the nomination. Would your supporters vote for him? Would you encourage your supporters to vote for him? What do you think would happen?
Well, I think if I tried to tell them what to do, it would have not a whole lot of meaning. I would be discredited, and they probably wouldn't respond.
Not your style.
No, and people say, well, tell them. I said, tell us what we should do. I said, well, do what you think you have to do. So that's part of the philosophy. You're an independent person. You do what you want. But, no, they're not likely to respond. I haven't thought that far along yet on what to do or what to say, because we have a month or two left here, and we're maximizing our effort to get as many delegates. And you know, we're starting to pick up delegates here and there, you know, which weren't expected. Like, we may even end up being the winner in Iowa.
Do you remember the Iowa Republican caucuses this year? First, they said that Mitt Romney won it, but then it turned out that no, that wasn't right. Then they tried to say it was a tie. Then Rick Santorum was declared the winner. But then it turned out none of it actually mattered in a practical sense. A state Republican Party committee picks the delegates who go to the Republican convention. And last month, Ron Paul supporters took over that committee, guaranteeing Ron Paul at least half of Iowa's 28 delegates. So in the end, forget all that nonsense, Ron Paul won Iowa.
We may even end up being the winner in Iowa, which would be rather ironic.
Yeah, that's kind of out there. Nothing confirmed yet.
Ron Paul won Iowa.
Nothing confirmed yet there, but that's sort of out there. Texas is proportional delegates, so you'll be getting delegates there.
There'll be delegates there, too, and we got some in New York the other day.
Ron Paul supporters win a big victory at the Maine GOP convention today. Now, so far, Paul won 20 of the delegates that will go to the GOP National Convention in Tampa. Mitt Romney, at this point, didn't win any.
The Ron Paul folks are trying to stack delegate slates where they can. For what reason, to what end, it's hard to tell.
You get a few delegates, and what are you going to do with the convention if you have an amount of delegates, which you do.
Well, if Governor Romney has the vote, you don't have a whole lot to do with it. Now, if you win like 5 states, there are certain rules that provide you more presence at the convention, like speeches and nominations and things like that. So we just don't know how that'll work out.
If you were able to put things into the Republican platform at the convention, what things would it be? I mean, if you just had to put in one thing, what would it be?
Well,
fantastic showing.
It's hard to pin it down to one because I talk about a whole philosophy. Change foreign policy, change the monetary policy,
right.
Balance the budget. You know, we can't solve our economic problems without having sound money. We shouldn't be spending this much money, so we should quit. We shouldn't be overseas fighting wars we can't win, and that would work into balancing the budget. If there's one thing, if you could do it, make them live up to their oath of office, because I believe we wouldn't have gotten into this mess if we wouldn't have had so many who just sort of ignore the Constitution, and they don't even know what Article 1, Section 8 means, and that tells you what you're allowed to do, and if it's not there, you're not supposed to do it.